Ms. Ada.
Just a minute, Rick.
No problem.
We're gonna go live stream here, Rick.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Court will resume with the May 10th, 2022 docket. And we're live stream and we have Mr. John Rodriguez. And I believe his client is Jesus Zivic.
That's correct, Your Honor, Zivek.
Okay. And it'll be a plea, Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, Your Honor, it's a plea.
All right.
And just for the record, he's already taken care of his felony, Judge. We've already pled out to it. This is just what was the straggler that was left over.
Oh, very good. Very good. And I believe that's him right there, Mr. Zivic, number 8. All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Zivic.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, sir. Please raise your hand. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
You may put your hand down. CR 21-12-571D, Jesus Horacio Zivic. Your charge here is a Class A misdemeanor, violation of protective order. It carries a potential penalty of up to a year in jail and not more than a $4,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that you're entitled to a jury trial. You're entitled to an appeal, and that you waived those two rights.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
No, sir.
You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendation after you make a plea?
Yes, sir.
And what is your plea, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
All right. State?
Yes, Judge. State offer plea document and offense report as states with 1, notification and certification of defense right of appeal as states with 2, waiver of Article 39.14, disclosure as states with 3. State would also request defense counsel to stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of the honorable court, and to also stipulate that evidence has been filed sufficient to appropriately guilty.
Your Honor, no objection to state's exhibit, so agreed and stipulated as to venue and jurisdiction. We also further agree and stipulate the evidence submitted so far is sufficient to establish guilt.
And without objection, so admitted. It'll be the judgment of the court. The defendant is guilty as charged. Recommendation, state?
Yes, Judge. The state recommend $100 fine, court costs, 194 days in the Douglas County Jail, credit for 194 days, Judge.
All right, court will hereby waive the fine and court costs. Therefore, 194 for 194 served, it'll be a time served. All right, is that the understanding, Mr. Rodriguez?
It is, Your Honor, and that's what we're asking the court to accept.
All right, Mr. Zivic, time served. Okay, sir? Have a great day.
You too, sir. Have a good day.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, John.
Thank you, no problem.
Mr. Rene Flores.
All right, sir, you may be excused. Have a great day, John.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Number 3 and number 4.
Bye-bye. Oh, yeah, number 3 and 4.
Motion straight.
All right, Mr. Flores.
Okay.
Mr. Flores, good afternoon, sir. Your client is Corina Perales.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Let's see if we can get her in here. It'll be a revocation on both cases, right?
That's correct.
All right, revocation on both cases on Corina Perales. All righty, let me see here.
What is this bond? Our court?
All right, Corina, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Please raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
You may put your hand down. 2 cases, Ms. Perales, CR 20-09663D,
Yes.
CR 21-04-192D, both of them State of Texas versus Corina May Perales. This is a revocation proceeding whereby the Adult Probation Office and DA's office are both alleging that you violated your probation. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You understand that if the court finds that you did violate your probation, that the court may sentence you to the full amount of punishment that was probated back then when you pled guilty?
Yes, sir.
All right. Has your attorney explained to you what are the conditions of probation that you allegedly violated for each case?
Yes, sir.
And you understand him pretty well?
Yes, sir.
And what is your plea, ma'am? True or not true that you at least violated one condition for each of the cases?
Yes, sir.
Okay, true.
Yes.
And are you pleading true freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
All right, state.
Yes, Judge. State offer waiver of right, consensual stipulation of evidence, and plea of true to state motion to revoke post-conviction community supervision as State Exhibit 1. State also requests defendant to stipulate that she's the same defendant who was previously placed on probation.
Judge, we have no objections. We stipulate to the evidence, Judge. We also stipulate that she's the same individual that was previously placed on probation. Court.
And without objection, so admitted, it'll be the finding of this court that Corina Perales did violate probation in CR 20-09663D and CR 21-04192D. And recommendations state, are they identical by any chance?
They're almost identical, judges.
All right, let's hear the first one, CR 20-09663.
Yes, Judge. The state recommend $100 fine, court costs, 74 days in the Delaware County Jail, credit for 74 days, Judge.
All right, waive the fine and court costs. That'll be a time served. And the second one, CR 21-04192D.
Yes, Judge. The state recommend $100 fine, court costs, 75 days in Delaware County Jail, credit for 75 days.
Court will hereby waive the fine and court costs. It'll be a time served as well. So, Ms. Perales, both cases, time served. Okay, ma'am?
Thank you, sir.
Is that the understanding, Mr. Flores?
It is, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. You all both and be excused. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Mr.
Okay.
Flores, can I postpone already?
I'll call your family, let them know that you can postpone on your other charges.
Thank you, sir.
All right, you're excused. Thank you, ma'am. Bye-bye.
We have Mr. Ted Lopez for the public defender on number 11, Ms. Claudia Requenes.
Okay, number 11 and,
We've got several, but we can do Claudia first so that we can let.
okay, number 11 and number 10, right? Yeah, Claudia's on 10, 11. Mr. Lopez.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Yes, sir. I think we have an announcement on Claudia Requenes.
Yes, sir.
CR 21-13-838, CR 21-13-839. Yes, state.
Yes, Judge. Judge, both state and the defense counsel are in agreement that the defense was found incompetent by Dr. Pena. We asked the defense counsel to put on the record that he's also in agreement with this.
Your Honor, we're in agreement, Judge. I did file that motion, Your Honor, in that order, because when I did try to discuss this case with her and prepare her for a trial, I was not able to, Your Honor. So we are in agreement that she is incompetent, Judge.
Okay, so therefore, all proceedings here on these two cases are abated right now?
Judge, if I could read in the record what Dr. Pena wrote.
I didn't hear.
Read on the record, Dr. Pena's.
Oh, yes, go ahead, state.
Yes, Judge. Dr. Pena is of the opinion that defendant is incompetent to stand trial and is a person who has mental illness or is a person who with mental retardation. And we asked the court to find the defendant incompetent, Judge.
All right, court so finds.
Yes, Judge. And the state will be staffing this case, Judge, and we asking for a bed for treatment, Judge.
All right, so granted.
What was that announcement?
We'll be staffing. I'll be staffing this case with my chief, and we'll be asking for a bed for treatment.
The bed for treatment.
Yeah, for treatment.
Okay. Yes, Judge.
Okay, so is that far? Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. I mean, I was thinking that the state would dismiss these cases. I mean, she's been in custody over 140.
It could be in the future, it could be, but for right now, proceedings are abated.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay?
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you for that announcement. Well, hold on just a minute. We're through with the jail, right? Okay, ma'am, thank you so much. Your excuse. Have a great day.
Okay, we can go to number 1.
Number 1, Mr. Number 1.
Defender,
Who's that now?
Juan Huerta.
Juan Antonio Huerta.
Your Honor, Ted Lopez for Mr. Huerta. He is signed up for plea on both of his cases, Judge. He's actually will be pleased to report, Your Honor, he does need the services of an interpreter.
Okay, he's got 2 cases, you
Yeah,
said?
number 1 and number 19.
Yes, Your Honor.
And number 1 and number 19. Oh, wow. Good to see you. And that'll be Juan Antonio Huerta. Oh, both of them are EWIs class A's?
That's correct.
Okay.
Señor Huerta, levanta tu mano derecha.
All right. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
¿Juras que el testimonio que vas a dar es la verdad, solamente la verdad y nada más que la verdad?
Sí.
Yes, puedes bajar tu mano.
You may put your hand down. 2 cases, Mr. Huerta, CR 20-03-644D, CR 22-03-160D, Both of them, State of Texas versus Juan Antonio Huerta. Each case a Class A misdemeanor, DWI. Each case carries a potential penalty of up to a year in jail and not more than a $4,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that?
Juan, tienes dos casos. El primero es CR 20-03644D, el estado de Texas contra Juan Antonio Huerta. El segundo caso, CR 22-03160D, el estado de Texas contra Juan Antonio Huerta. Los dos son clase A. Bajo la ley es no más de una multa de $4,000 y no más de un año en la cárcel. La pregunta del juez es, ¿comprendes eso tú, sí o no?
Sí.
Yes.
For each case, you're entitled to a jury trial, you're entitled to an appeal, and that you waived those two rights.
En cada caso, tú tienes el derecho de que un jurado oiga tu caso y también tienes el derecho de apelar. Pero es correcto que tú has rechazado esos dos derechos. Esos son los documentos que tú le firmaste al abogado. ¿Sí o no?
Sí.
Yes.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
¿Alguna vez te han declarado que estés mentalmente incompetente por un doctor?
No.
No.
You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendations after you give a plea?
Y comprendes tú que la corte no tiene que seguir la recomendación del Estado. La corte te puede dar cualquier sentencia todo y cuando el juez se quede adentro de la ley. ¿Comprendes eso, sí o no?
Sí.
Yes.
You understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, that your plea of guilty in your case may result in deportation, exclusion from admission to this country, or the denial of admission.
Naturalization.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Naturalization.
denial of naturalization by federal law?
You made me forget what I was
No,
going to
no,
say.
no.
Ok. ¿Comprendes tú que si te declaras culpable y no eres ciudadano de este país, eso puede resultar en deportación, exclusión o que te nieguen la entrada a este país bajo leyes federales? ¿Comprendes eso, sí o no?
Sí.
Yes.
And was that explained to you by your attorney?
¿Y eso se te explicó a ti por tu abogado?
Sí.
Yes.
And how do you plead, sir? Guilty or not
¿Y
guilty?
cómo te declaras? ¿Culpable o no culpable?
Culpable.
Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily on both
¿Y
cases?
te estás declarando culpable libre y voluntariamente en los dos casos?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, state.
Judge, state offer plea document and offense report as stated with 1, notification and certification of defendant right of appeal as stated with 2, waiver of article 39.14, disclosure as stated with 3. State would also request defense counsel to stipulate the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court, and to also stipulate that evidence has been filed sufficient to cover plea guilty.
No objection to the exhibits offered. We stipulate to venue jurisdiction. We have to stipulate that these documents are sufficient that have been e-filed. Your Honor.
And without objection, so admitted. It'll be the judgment of the court that Juan Antonio Huerta is guilty as charged on both cause numbers. CR 2003-644D and CR 2203-160D. Recommendations, state. Let's start with the first one. CR 2003-644D.
Yes, Judge, the state recommend $100 fine, court costs, 90 days in the Elgin County Jail, credit for 50 days, Judge.
I'm sorry, 90 days in jail, credit for what?
50.
50?
Yes, Judge.
All right. And well, let me hear the second recommendation. CR 2203-160D.
Yes, Judge, the state recommend $100 fine, court costs, 90 days in the Elgin County Jail, credit for 42 days, Judge.
This one is 42. All right. Yes, Mr. Lopez.
Yes, Your Honor. Both of these cases, Judge, this is a plea of the court. Your Honor, we're requesting that he receive time served on these cases, Judge. He has been in custody that amount of time, Judge. However, he does have an ICE hold on both of these cases, Judge. He will be deported, and he is facing an illegal reentry charge, Your Honor.
All right, that was going to be my next case here. Question, I'm sorry. Does he have an ICE hold? And he does?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right, first case, CR 2003-644D. We can make that 50 days in jail, credit for 50 days served, no fine, no court cost. That'll be a time served. And then CR 2203-160D. Yeah, we can make that one 42 days, credit for 42 days served, no fine, no court cost, also time served. And this will happen because this is possible because of he's got a hold.
Juan, en los casos tuyos, el fiscal estaba pidiendo 90 días en la cárcel, crédito por 50 días en un caso y 42 días en otro. El juez le abajó a tiempo servido. En vez de los 90 días, te va a dar 50, crédito por 50. Y en el segundo caso, 42 días, crédito por 42. O en estos dos casos, tú ya serviste tu sentencia. Y ya si tienes problemas con inmigración, eso ya es en otra parte.
Sí,
Okay.
sí.
Suerte,
Okay, good luck, sir.
suerte.
Time served. Have a great day.
Next one is Ángel Tijerina.
Angel Tijerina.
He's got number 2 and number.
Oh, 2 and 4, okay. And it'll be a plea on both cases, right?
That's fair, Judge. That's also a plea to the court, Your Honor.
Okay, it'll be Angel Tijerina. Any interpreting for Mr. Tijerina?
No, Your Honor.
All right. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
You may put your hand down. 2 cases, Angel. Let me see here. CR 20-09618D, Angel Tijerina, criminal trespass, Class B. CR 20-11-341D, Angel Tijerina, Class A misdemeanor. Discharging a firearm in a certain municipalities. Okay, so you have the B and an A. On the Class B misdemeanor, the potential penalty can be up to 180 days in jail and not more than a $2,000 fine upon conviction. On the Class A, the penalty can be up to a year in jail and not more than a $4,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Each case, you're entitled to an appeal and a jury trial. And did you waive those 2 rights?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
No, sir.
You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendations after you give a plea?
Yes, sir.
And what is your plea, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
All right. State.
Yes, Judge, state offer plea document and offense report as Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant right of appeal as Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 39.14 disclosure as Exhibit 3, waiver of risk and need assessment as Exhibit 4. State will also request defense counsel to stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of the honorable court, and to also stipulate that evidence that's being filed is sufficient to plead guilty.
No objection to the exhibits offered. We stipulate you been jurisdiction. We also stipulate that these documents are sufficient that have been e-filed, Your Honor.
And without objection, so admitted. It'll be the judgment of the court. The defendant is guilty as charged from both cost numbers. Recommendations, are they identical by any chance?
They're not, Judge, unfortunately.
All right. CR 20-09618D. Yes, state.
Yes, Judge, this one will be an open plea, Judge.
Okay.
Judge, the state recommend $150 fine, court costs, 180 days in Delaware County Jail, probate for 10 months, a law school course, 20 commercial hours, and the defendant to stay away from the city of Mission Pool located at 115 South Mayberry Street, Mission, Texas, 78572.
115 South Mayberry, right?
Yes, Judge.
All right, Mission, Texas. All right, and then let me hear this, the other recommendation on CR 20-11-341.
Yes, Judge. The state recommend $150 fine, court costs, 17 days in the Delaware County Jail, credit for 17 days, and the defendant to forfeit the weapon of commission of offense, Judge.
Forfeit the weapon. Okay, so this is a time serve. It'll be 0 fine, 0 court cost, 17 for 17, time serve, and forfeiture of the weapon. All right, let's go back to the first one. Mr. Lopez?
Yes, Your Honor. Judge, on the other case, Your Honor, the criminal trespass, Judge, we're requesting, he has been in custody. My understanding is 25 days, Judge. We're asking for a time served of the 25 days credit for the 25 days, Judge. The criminal trespass was at a swimming pool, Judge. It wasn't at someone's home or posing any danger to anyone, Your Honor. The other reason why we're requesting that is that my client was in custody at TJJD for 16 months. So he has been incarcerated for quite some time. He had been there when he missed his arraignment date for this case, Judge. So we're asking for time served on both cases, Your Honor.
Okay, so on this one, how many days has he done already in jail?
I have 25 days, Your Honor.
Okay, state, is that what you have?
I have 12.
12 on this one?
Yes, Judge.
Judge,
Okay.
I think it was at 12, Your Honor. But however, I think because when they brought him over, the verification of incarceration had not been done, Judge. So,
Okay.
but it's been accumulating, Your Honor.
All right, we'll do no fine, no court cost, 12 days in jail, better for 12. That'll be a time served. Stay
Judge.
away, stay
Yeah.
away from the from the Mission swimming pool, right?
Yes, Judge.
At 115 South Mayberry. 115 South Mayberry. Okay, so like the other case, it's gonna be a time served as well. But the other one is a forfeiture of the weapon. All right, thank you, Mr. Tijerina, right?
Yes.
All right, your excuse. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Lopez, you still have another one, right, sir?
Yes, sir.
Which one is that one? Mr. Lopez?
Oh, he's got number 9, number 15, and number 16, but number 9 is a rebel, and the other 2 are regular pleas.
Ah,
So we
yes.
can do number 9 first. David Sandoval Jr.
David Sandoval.
Yes, sir.
Yes, there's another one. Oh, and David only has one?
No, 1 rebel
Oh,
and 2 regular pleas.
and where is he?
Number 15 and
okay.
number 16.
15 and 16?
Yes.
15. Oh, next page. And 16 for David Sandoval. Okay, 2 please, and then and 1 rebel. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let me do the rebel. And the first one was what?
Number 9.
Number 9. Here we go. All right, let's see. Please raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
All right, you may put your hand down. We have a revocation and then 2 pleas. Let's do the revocation first. CR 21-12-591D, David Sandoval Jr. This is a revocation proceeding whereby the Adult Probation Office and DA's office are both alleging that you violated your probation. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
No, sir.
You understand that if the court does find that you did violate your probation, that the court may sentence you to the full amount of punishment that was probated back then when you pled guilty?
Yes, sir.
All right. Has your attorney explained to you what are the conditions of probation that you allegedly violated?
Yes, sir.
And you understand them all pretty well?
Yes, sir.
And what is your plea, sir? True or not true that you at least violated 1 condition?
True.
And are you pleading true freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
All right, state.
Yes, Judge. State offer waiver of right, consent to stipulation of evidence, and plea of true to state motion to revoke post-conviction community supervision as stated exhibit 1. State also requests defendant stipulate that he is the same defendant who was previously placed on probation.
No objection to the exhibits offered. We stipulate to bend jurisdiction. We also stipulate he's the same individual that's placed on community supervision.
And without objection, so admitted. It will be the finding of this court that David Sandoval Jr. did violate probation in CR 21-12-591D. And recommendation, state?
Yes, Judge. The state recommend $100 fine, court costs, 61 days in the Delaware County Jail, credit for 61 days.
61 for 61. Waive the fine and court costs. This one is a time served. Time served. All right, let's go back, David, to the 2 other cases. Yeah, number 15 and 16 here. And that'll be, all right, here they are. CR 2202-934D, CR 2202-935D. Both of them state of Texas versus David Sandoval Jr. The first one, Class A misdemeanor terroristic threat, and the second one, Class A assault. Each case is a Class A misdemeanor. Each case carries a potential penalty of up to a year in jail and not more than a $4,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you're entitled to a jury trial. You're entitled to an appeal. Did you waive those 2 rights?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
No, sir.
You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendations?
Yes, sir.
And what is your plea, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily for both
Yes, sir.
cases? All
Yes,
right,
sir.
state.
Yes, Judge. State offer plea document and offense report as exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant right of appeal as exhibit 2, waiver of Article 39.14 disclosure as exhibit 3, waiver of risk and need assessment as exhibit 4. State would also request defense counsel to stipulate the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court, and to also stipulate that evidence has been filed sufficient to recover plea guilty.
No objection to the exhibits offered. We stipulate to bend jurisdiction. We must stipulate these documents are sufficient that have been e-filed here.
Without objection, so admitted. It'll be the judgment of the court. The defendant is guilty as charged on both cost numbers. Recommendations, let's see, CR 2202-934D. Yes, sir.
Yes, Judge. The state recommend $100 fine, court costs, 53 days in the Delaware County Jail, credit for 53 days.
I'm sorry, is it 53 for 53?
Yes, Judge.
53 days served, 53 days. All right, waive the fine and court costs. Time served again. Last one, CR 2202-935D. Yes, sir.
Yes, Judge. The state recommend $300 fine, court costs, 1 year in Delaware County Jail, probate for 16 months. The anger management by Mujer Unidas program, 20 commercial hours, open restitution to Serviana Sayans, and the defense to stay away from the same victim, Judge.
Okay, Serviana Science. All right. Restitution hearing June the 8th, 10 a.m. June the 8th, 10 a.m. for the restitution hearing. And let me see here. He's done 55 days in jail on this one, right? Where the fine and court costs and where the community hours. But it is 15 months in probation?
16 months, Judge.
16?
Yes, Judge.
All right, 16 months probation, anger management, Mujeres Unidas, and then restitution left open for Serviana Science. Did you get that, Mr. Lopez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so the first two cases were time served. This one is a probation. So good luck with this case, okay, Mr. Science?
Yes, one question. Do I get out today?
I think so. If you have nothing else holding you, you might get out tonight or today. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so nomás I go report tomorrow?
I think you're going to be getting a phone call, right, Miss Jessica?
That's correct, Judge. They'll call him in a couple of days.
In a couple of days, they're going to be calling you, okay?
But I'll leave today, right, if I don't have nothing.
If you have nothing holding you, you might get out there today or tonight, okay?
Okay, thank you, Ted.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Ted, and the last one is number 17 and 18.
The last one, Ted Lopez, is 17. Which one?
Osias Gonzalez?
17 and 18, you said?
Yes.
Where are they? Oh. Oh, here we are. Let's put you. That would be Oseas. Oseas Gonzalez. It'll be a plea on both of them?
Yes, Your Honor. And again, this one will be a plea to the court, Judge.
Plea to the court?
Does he need
Okay.
interpretation?
Does he need interpreting?
He does, Your Honor.
Yes.
He does?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oseas, levanta tu mano derecha.
You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
¿Juras que el testimonio que vas a dar es la verdad, solamente la verdad y nada más que la verdad?
Sí.
Yes, puedes bajar tu mano.
All right, put your hand down. Two cases, CR 2203-005D, CR 2203-006D, both of them state of Texas versus Oseas Gonzalez. Each case, Class B misdemeanor DWI. Each case carries a potential penalty of up to 180 days in jail and not more than a $2,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that?
Oseas, tienes dos casos. Los dos son andar manejando en el estado de embriaguez, que es una clase B. El primero es CR 22-03-005D, el estado de Texas contra Oseas González. Y el segundo es CR 22-03-006D, el estado de Texas contra Oseas González. Los dos son una clase B, bajo la ley es no más de una multa de $2,000 y no más de 6 meses en la cárcel. La pregunta del juez es, ¿comprendes eso, sí o no?
Sí.
Yes.
You understand that you're entitled to a jury trial. You're entitled to an appeal. Did you waive those two rights?
Y comprendes tú que en cada caso tú tienes el derecho de apelar y también tienes el derecho de que un jurado oiga tu caso. Pero es correcto que tú has rechazado esos dos derechos.
Sí.
Yes.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
¿Alguna vez te han declarado que estés mentalmente incompetente por un doctor?
No.
You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendations after you give a plea?
Y comprendes tú que la corte no tiene que seguir la recomendación después de que tú te declares culpable. ¿Comprendes eso?
Sí.
Yes.
You understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, that you plead guilty in your case may result in deportation, exclusion from admission to this country, or denial of naturalization under federal law?
Y comprendes tú que si tú no eres ciudadano de este país y te declaras culpable, eso puede resultar en deportación, exclusión o que te niegue la entrada a este país bajo leyes federales. ¿Comprendes eso, sí o no?
Sí.
Yes.
And was that explained to you by your attorney?
¿Y eso se te explicó a ti por tu abogado?
Sí.
Yes.
All right. And how do you plead, sir? Guilty or not
¿Y
guilty?
cómo te declaras? ¿Culpable o no culpable?
Culpable.
Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
¿Y te estás declarando culpable libre y voluntariamente?
Sí.
Yes.
All right. State.
Yes, Judge. State offer plea document and offense report as stated with 1, notification, certification of defendant right of appeal as stated with 2, waiver of Article 39.14 disclosure as stated with 3, State would also request defense counsel to stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court, and to also stipulate that evidence has been filed sufficient to plead guilty.
No objection to the exhibits offered. We stipulate to venue jurisdiction. We also stipulate that these documents are sufficient as they've been e-filed, Your Honor.
And without objection, so admitted. It'll be the judgment of the court. The defendant is guilty as charged on both cause numbers. CR 2203-005D, CR 2203-006D. Recommendations, state, are they identical by any chance?
Almost, Judge.
All right, let me hear the first one.
Yes, Judge. The state recommend $100 fine, court costs, 60 days in the Hidalgo County Jail, credit for 47 days, Judge.
Oh, okay. Did you say 50 or 60?
47. No, 60 days in the Hidalgo County Jail, credit for 47.
Oh, I got you. Okay, it'll be, okay. And the second recommendation?
Yes, Judge. State recommend $100 fine, court costs, 60 days in the Hidalgo County Jail, credit for 48 days, Judge.
48, okay. All right. Yes, Mr. Lopez?
Your Honor, as previously in the other case, Judge, we're requesting that he be sentenced to time served, the 47 days credit for 47 days, 48 days credit for 48 days, Judge. He does have an ICE hold as well, Your Honor.
Okay.
So he will be deported and dealing with those matters as well.
All right, that's gonna be my next question, if he's got a nice hole. All right, because he's got a nice hole, court will go ahead and make it, first one, no fine, no court costs, 47 days, credit for 47, time served. Second one, no fine, no court costs, 48 days in jail, credit for 48, served, time served.
Señor González, en el primer caso te van a dar tiempo servido. El fiscal estaba pidiendo 60 días en la cárcel, crédito por 47 que ya serviste, pero el juez le abajó en vez de 60 a 47, crédito por 47, eso es tiempo servido. Te quitó la multa y los costos de corte. En el segundo caso hizo lo mismo, 48 días, crédito por 48. So, en estos dos casos ya terminaste, te van a dar crédito por el tiempo que ya serviste. Y si tienes problemas con inmigración, entonces ya eso te arreglas tú con la Corte de Migración. Suerte.
Ok, gracias.
All right, thank you, sir. Bye-bye. Have a great day.
That's it
Mr.
for
Lopez, is that it, sir?
That is all, Your Honor.
All right, thank you so much. You're excused, sir. Have a good day.
We have Mr. Patrick Kennedy,
Mr.
number 6 and 7.
Mr. Patrick Kennedy, 6 and 7. Let me see.
Afternoon, Judge.
Mascorro.
Good afternoon. How you doing, sir?
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
Great, great. Javier Mascorro is your client, right, sir?
Yes, Judge. He also is a Spanish speaker.
Okay, he's about the 15th Spanish speaker because Ada's voice is already going dry. She's drinking water now. Okay. All right, let me see here. Mascorro,
Levanta
Javier,
la mano derecha, Mascorro.
you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
¿Juras que el testimonio que vas a dar es la verdad, solamente la verdad y nada más que la verdad?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
And you may put your hand
Puedes
down,
bajar
sir.
tu mano, sí.
By the way, state, this will be a plea on both cases, right, sir?
Yes, Judge.
All right, very well. 6 and 7, here it is. CR 2111-430D, CR 2111-431D, both of them, State of Texas versus Javier Mascorro. First one, Class A, resisting arrest, and the second one, Class B, DWI. On the Class A, the potential penalty can be up to a year in jail and not more than a $4,000 fine upon conviction. On the second one, Class B, the potential penalty can be up to 180 days in jail and not more than a $2,000 fine upon conviction.
Javier, tienes dos casos. El primer caso es CR 21-11-430D, el estado de Texas contra Javier Mascorro. Ese es resistir arresto, que es una clase A. Bajo la ley es no más de una multa de $4,000 y no más de un año en la cárcel. El segundo caso, CR 21-11431D, el estado de Texas contra Javier Mascorro. Ese caso es andar manejando en el estado de embriaguez, que es una clase B. Bajo la ley es no más de una multa de $2,000 y no más de 6 meses en la cárcel. La pregunta del juez es, ¿comprendes eso, sí o no?
Sí, mi señoría.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
¿Alguna vez te han declarado que estés mentalmente incompetente?
No.
No.
All right. You're entitled to a jury trial. You're entitled to an appeal. Did you waive those two rights?
Tienes el derecho de que un jurado oiga tu caso y también tienes el derecho de apelar. ¿Es correcto que has rechazado esos dos derechos?
Sí, señor.
Yes,
All
yes,
right.
sir.
You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendations after you give a plea?
Y comprendes tú que la corte no tiene que seguir la recomendación después de que tú te declares culpable.
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
You understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, that you plead guilty in your case may result in deportation, exclusion from admission to this country, or the denial of naturalization under federal law?
Y comprendes que tú que si no eres ciudadano de este país y te declaras culpable, eso puede resultar en deportación, exclusión o que te nieguen la entrada a este país bajo leyes federales. ¿Comprendes eso, sí o no?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
And was that explained to you by your attorney?
¿Eso se te explicó a ti por tu abogado?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
All right. And how do you plead, sir? Guilty or not
¿Y
guilty?
cómo te declaras? ¿Culpable o no culpable?
Culpable, señor.
Guilty, sir.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
¿Y te estás declarando culpable libre y voluntariamente?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
All right. State.
Yes, Judge. State offer plea document and offense report as stated with 1, notification and certification of defendant right of appeal as stated with 2, waiver of Article 39 for 14 disclosure as stated with 3. State would also request defense counsel to stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court, and to also stipulate that evidence has been about sufficient to culpable plead guilty.
No objection on behalf of Mr. Mascoro, and all stipulations are agreed to.
Without objection, so admitted. It'll be the judgment of the court. Defendant is guilty as charged on both cost numbers. Recommendations. But let's do, CR 21-11-431. DWI.
Yes, Judge. The state recommend $100 fine, court costs, 180 days in the Alva County Jail, credit for 180 days, Judge.
All right. The court will hereby waive the fine and court costs 180 for 180. Time served. Second case, CR 21-11-430D.
Yes, Judge. The state recommend $100 fine, court costs, 227 days in the Alva County Jail, credit for 227 days.
Court will hereby waive the fine and court costs. It'll be 227 for 227. Time served. Is
Señor
that
Mascorro,
the understanding, Mr. Kennedy?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
All
en los
right.
dos casos, el juez te quitó la multa y los costos de corte y te va a dar tiempo servido.
Yeah.
En el primer caso, ya serviste 227 días, te va a dar crédito por 227 días. Y en el segundo caso es 180 días crédito por 180.
Time served. Okay.
Tiempo servido.
Okay. You're
Well,
serious.
thank
Thank you, sir.
Gracias.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is that it, Mr. Kennedy?
That's all I have for you today, Judge.
All right. Good seeing you, man. Take it easy, okay?
Continue to have a good day in your staff.
Yes, you too. Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Mr. 14, we have Mr. Mauricio Martinez in for Oscar de las Flores on Lauro 40.
All right, Mr. Martinez.
Good
21
afternoon,
case.
Judge.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Is it just one case? All right.
Just one
that'll
case,
be-
Judge. It's a plea. It's ready to go.
Okay, Lauro Garcia 40.
Yes, sir.
All right. If you need interpreting, Mr. I think so, right?
No, I'm good. I know English.
No,
Oh,
he
very-
speaks English, Judge.
Oh, very good. Good afternoon, sir. Please raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
You may put your hand down. CR 22-022-16D, Lauro Garcia 40. Your charge here, assault, class A misdemeanor. It carries a potential penalty of up to a year in jail and not more than a $4,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that you're entitled to a jury trial. You're entitled to an appeal. Did you waive those two rights?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
I did take medication, but
Okay.
I'm all right.
Okay, so you're fine. Court will find you competent to stand trial. You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendation after you give a plea. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. And how do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
All right, state.
Yes, Judge. State offer plea document and offense report as stated with 1, notification and certification of defendant right of appeal as stated with 2, waiver of Article 39.14 disclosure as stated with 3. State would also request defense counsel to stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court, and to also stipulate that evidence has been filed sufficient to culpably plead guilty.
Judge, no objections, so agree and stipulated.
Without objection, so admitted. It'll be the judgment of the court. The defendant is guilty as charged. And our recommendation, state?
Yes, Judge. The state recommend $100 fine, court costs, 69 days in the Alva County Jail, credit for 69 days.
69 for 69?
Yes, Judge.
69 days in jail, credit for 69. Court will hereby waive the fine and court costs. It'll be a time served. It'll be a time served. Okay, Mr. 40?
Yes, sir.
I'll do it. Your excuse. Have a great day. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Thank you, Judge. Y'all stay safe.
Yes, sir. Stay safe, Mr. Martinez. All right, let's
Here we have
see.
Ms. Galvan.
Ms. Galvan, Chiscat,
She has number 10, I'm sorry, 12 and 13.
Alfredo Valdez, right?
And I think Mr. Alfredo Valdez Senior will
Okay.
testify.
Are we gonna do the pleas, or he's gonna testify first? State, are we gonna ask for a witness first?
Yes, Judge, I mean, I believe both of them are testimony.
Okay, we're gonna hear some testimony first,
Yes, Judge.
and that'll be from Alfredo Valdez Senior.
Yes, sir.
All right, good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
Just fine, sir. Thank you.
Great. Please raise your right hand, sir. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may put your hand down and listen carefully to the questions. You're gonna be asking questions, Mr. Nguyen?
Yes, Judge.
All right, you may proceed, Mr. Nguyen. State.
Okay. Can you please state your full name for the record?
Excuse me, sir.
Can you state your full name for the record?
Alfredo Garza Valdez.
Okay, what is your relationship with the defendant?
I'm his father.
Okay. Can you tell me what happened on or about January 25th, 2022?
Well, in the morning, I guess we got up in the wrong side of the bed and we got into an altercation, and it fired up to get kind of aggressive, and that's about what happened.
Did the defendant choke you and push you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and did the defendant took your phone away from you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, is there a history of violence in your relationship with the defendant?
Excuse me?
Is there a history of violence in your relationship with the defendant?
I can't hear you, sir.
Is there a history of violence in the relationship with you and the defendant?
No, sir.
Okay.
Okay, and are you concerned about any future violent acts by the defendant?
No, sir.
Okay, and did you fill out an affidavit of non-prosecution with the district attorney's office?
Yes, sir.
And did you fill it out on your own free will?
Yes, sir.
And nobody promised you anything or threatened you in any way to have you to sign the affidavit?
No, sir.
No.
And do you wish to drop the charges against the defendant?
Yes, sir.
You do understand that by dropping the charges, you cannot reopen this case, correct?
Yes, sir.
However, you do understand that if another incident was to occur, you could open a new case, correct?
Yes, sir.
Judge, the state passes the witness.
All right. Any questions, Ms. Galvan?
No, Your Honor, I don't have any
No?
questions.
All right, thank you for your testimony, Mr. Valdez.
Thank
State,
you, sir.
any announcements?
Yes, Judge, the defendant needs to complete anger management by Mujer Unidas, Judge, then we'll dismiss the case, Judge.
Anger management by Mujeres Unidas?
Yes, Judge.
Mujeres Unidas. All right, in the meantime, he's in jail. Is he gonna be getting out with a bond or something?
Well, I mean,
Your Honor, you'd have to approve a PR bond for him to get out. That'd be the only way for him to do Mujeres Unidas.
A PR bond?
we can't do a PR bond, just Judge, the statute won't allow it.
Judge,
Is
he
that-
doesn't have money to get out. He's already been in jail for a couple of months. He's been in jail since January, and he's been unable to make bond. I don't believe he'll be able to make bond unless the court gives him a PR bond.
Okay, and I know there was a statute during this pandemic about no PR bonds for the assault cases. Is it still going on?
Yes, Judge, it went in effect last December, Judge.
All right, so then can we give him then $100 cash already?
As
We
your
can do that,
discretion,
right?
at your discretion on that one, Judge.
We can do $100 cash already?
Judge, we're okay with that if that's what the court.
Yeah, let's do that because we gotta do some number here. $100 fine. I'm sorry. $100 cash surety bond for both cases. And then a PT date. Date. October 26, what? 2023?
Your Honor, and is Mujeres Unidas the only, and I don't know the state, the only program he can do, or can he do I think it's called the BIT program, the Batterers Intervention Program, BIT. I know some vendors are offering that. It's also like a 16-week program. Mujeres Unidas sometimes has a waiting list.
Well, I prefer the anger prevention by Mujeres Unidas, but
That way she can use that as well.
The difference
If there's, I guess if they can't take him, he can go for bid, right?
that's fine with me, Judge.
longer.
But
Oh, wait a
Is
minute.
bid
We got,
longer?
The batter's intervention program is 24 weeks. Anger management through Mujeres Unidas is about 10,
yeah, 10, 12. Okay.
Okay,
and it's less expensive.
Okay, let's do Mujeres Unidas then.
thank you. I apologize. I thought it might be shorter.
Okay, Mujeres Unidas. You thought it was a bit shorter?
Yes,
That's
Your Honor,
why-
it is.
No,
A lot.
okay.
Anger management through Mujeres Unidas, because Mujeres
Right.
Unidas also offers BIP, but if it's anger management through Mujeres Unidas, it's a shorter class and less expensive.
Okay, there you go. Okay, in the meantime, pre-trial date, we're gonna give him a long pre-trial date here, October 26, 2023, October 26, 2023. However, as soon as he completes that program, just let the court know.
Yes, Your
We'll bump
Honor, I really appreciate it. And I'll let the family know about the new bonds so that they can go bond him out.
Okay, $100 cash surety for each bond,
And
each
if-
case.
if they will complete
Okay.
the class,
Okay,
if you complete the class and you can submit the certificate to me, I'll dismiss this administratively.
there you go. It can be administrative dismissed. There you go, even better. All right, thank you, Mr. Valdez. Thank you, Mr. Valdez. You may be
Thank you.
excused.
Thank you, Mr. Judge. May I be excused?
You may be excused. Thank you, ma'am. Have a good
Thank
day. We
That was it for us, Your Honor.
That'll do it. Thank you, Judge.